Make sure you're subscribed to JerCrispy.
What's up, y'all? It shows the most, does the most. JerCrispy, we're back to that video. Why Shark Tale is a good movie. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, follow all social media. It's going to pop on the screen. I like Shark Tale. Shark Tale was actually a good movie for me. And it's like always a movie I could go back and watch every single time. It takes, like, dude who try to get rich. Like, he trying to get a quick scheme rich or something like that. So he act like he killed the shark and stuff like that. He gonna explain the rest. If y'all don't remember what Shark Tale is, then I don't know what's wrong with y'all.
Shark Tale is such an atrocious movie, and I don't understand how people like it.
Oh, and the movie Shark Tale, it really blows.
It's okay, a lot of whitefish can't make movies.
Shark Tale is the biggest stain on DreamWorks' reputation, by far.
It's pretty good. DreamWorks movies are usually one of three things. There are the artistically ambitious movies, subverting genre conventions and the trends of their competitors, all while telling heartwarming and daring stories with a flurry of unique and varied art styles.
Oh, that's me.
No. There are the generally pretty decent ones that aren't going to change the world, but are still worth a watch or two.
Oh, then there's me.
Then there are the juvenile, celebrity-infested, licensed music-ridden corporate slop that the head of Illumination clearly took to heart.
And became a
And Shark Tale almost invariably gets pointed to as the rock bottom of DreamWorks' catalog, and often as one of the worst animated films ever made.
That's messed up.
But how? Like, how that's the worst though? And bro, it's like seeing real stuff, but people just don't know what real stuff is to them.
But, I mean, come on, it's like a C+ at worst. As much as I can recognize the problems with this movie, they've never really bothered me all that much, and frankly, I think there's a fair amount of good that goes unappreciated. For example, the only Oscar this movie has to its name, by a slim margin though, haha.
The nominees! The cream of this year's crop of animated features are
Shark Tale.
The character Oscar supposedly embodies the worst of DreamWorks' tropes. He's a pop culture spewing, hip and modern for the sake of it character voiced by someone like Will Smith because he's someone like Will Smith.
Will Smith's introduction is purely him talking to the camera, saying how wonderful you should feel to see him. All I can think of when I hear Will Smith's lines is, please stop trying to be hip.
But there's a reason why it doesn't bother me so much, and that's because the movie is fully aware of how lame and try-hard he is. The other characters clearly find him annoying, and anytime he tries to go overtly cool and show-offy, it's immediately followed by him getting taken down a peg. His first scene, for example, introducing us to this character, he's hyping up what a sick bachelor pad he has.
CD, DVD, PlayStation hookup, and an 8-track player for those days when you're feeling just a little old school.
Only for the neighborhood kids to shoot down his fantasy.
Look who came to visit!
No, don't do that.
His early interactions with his boss Sykes just end with Sykes being rightfully annoyed by him.
Oh, hey, don't sweat it, Sykes. A lot of whitefish can't do it.
Oscar, would you just sit down, okay?
Hell, I can even defend the infamous da-da-da-da-da-da-da can't touch this moment. This is the scene I often see get pointed to, but in context, I'd argue it isn't that bad. The actual scene is Oscar negotiating with an honest-to-God mob boss, navigating his way through it by pretending to be a bigger threat than he actually is, and eventually getting a little overconfident in the process.
It's over. You're old school.
Which ends up getting undercut with him blowing his cover by not quitting while he's ahead.
Lenny?
Plus, to clap just for the sake of it, I actually like what they do with Will Smith in this movie. I mean, Hollywood is a business that often allows actors to trample all over their own projects for fear of looking a bit wimpy or uncool for a second. This is especially relevant when you consider that this is Will Smith, an actor who became...
Yeah, because The Rock, he changed every movie. Every role that he get, he trying to change it up and different stuff. And I don't know why, like, people does not like the Shark Tale movie. It's like me. I feel like it's something you could always go back and watch because it's like some groove you can relate to off of that stuff like that sometimes. And it's Will Smith. It's a Will Smith movie. Like low key, half of Will Smith movies, I would say I'd say all his movies are actually good. I watch all of them, but I clearly watched I, Robot, I Am Legend, Shark Tale, and there was another Will Smith movie when he had a somebody made a clone of him or something like that. That was a good movie too. I don't know. Some people just look different as people. Some people just hate Will Smith. I don't know.
One of the biggest stars in the world through pure charm and charisma, even through, let's be honest here, a very hit or miss career. So with all
right, go back to the
charm and charisma, even through, let's be honest here.
Okay. I watched this. Well, I Am Legend. He didn't put I Am Legend. Hancock. Oh yeah, I forgot to watch Hancock. So Hancock is a good movie. And then he got a movie with him and a daughter with tennis or something like that on that. I forgot I watched that too. So far, I mean, it's not a hidden flop movies and say I say it's actually good to sit down and watch it, bro. Like people that say this is a hit or flop, I say this is some good ass movies to sit down and watch by yourself and stuff like that, you know.
A very hit or miss career. So with all Will Smith had at stake presenting himself this way, I honestly kind of respect the decision on both his and the filmmaker's parts, acting as basically this idiotic loser that nobody likes. I mean, there's literally a scene where he's in front of a large crowd on camera and he starts spouting pop culture references that have increasingly little to do with the situation.
Are you not entertained? You can't handle the truth. You had me at hello.
I refuse to believe that the filmmakers are not at least vaguely aware of what they're doing here. You can call it stunt casting all you want, and believe me, people have.
Will Smith doesn't bring anything that he couldn't bring to any other role.
But if anything, to me at least, it honestly comes across as more of a parody of the type of character Will Smith usually plays. Look, this is the movie that casted Martin Scorsese, of all people, as a pufferfish. Clearly there was at least a little bit of thought being put into the casting choices of this movie.
True words have never been spoken.
Another thing that the movie gets a ton of flack for is the character designs, or mainly just the design for Oscar himself. But I don't know, he just never bothered me, what can I say? Right. There are a couple of shots where he gets uncomfortably close to whatever the animation equivalent of a camera would be, but for the most part, it's not a problem I ran into. And the rest of the character designs are quite...
Why people hate the design? I actually fuck with it. I don't know, son. People, I don't know, son. Some people's opinion just don't be making sense. And some people's opinion do make sense. It's just 50-50 with that. To me, I feel like Shark Tale was actually a good movie. And I feel like there's some you could definitely hand to hand, down to down, let your kids watch the show too. And all that stuff. Ain't nothing bad. It's not telling the kids or nothing. It's just telling what people be doing on a regular basis. And this is some real life stuff. Like people do be acting like they, already famous and stuff like that. You gotta act like you already famous and stuff like that. Make yourself feel happy. I mean, yeah.
Frankly fine, as far as I'm concerned. There are obviously some pretty major artistic liberties with the fish they're meant to resemble, but I like how they adapt the fish anatomy to look like hair.
So they wanted them to look actually like this? Nigga, what type of movie y'all was watching when y'all was growing up?
Clothing, not to mention a number of good visual gags.
Yeah, it's fake.
Now, with all that said, I'm still not going to act like this is one of DreamWorks' best, because even I haven't drank that much seawater. The fact is that, while I don't think the plot is as broken beyond repair as a lot of people say it is, I'd be lying if I said it wasn't also pretty generic. It's your classic story of rags to riches, then back to rags once you realize that's more meaningful, but it's very bare bones in how it goes about it. Oscar lies his way to the top and eventually feels guilty over it, which could be interesting, but there's really only 2 scenes where he shows any remorse. Here and here. And they're fine scenes. I particularly like the scene from his best friend Angie.
Just go.
But all the time, I ain't lying to you. Angie was not even a best friend. She liked it, that nigga Oscar. Whole time, she was just scared to say it, like to tell it to him. And I mean, shit, if I had a best friend like that, like she was scared to tell me that she liked me the whole time, then, man, shoot your shot. I mean, look, bro, you liked me the whole time? shoot your shot.
How everything you had in your life wasn't good enough, including me.
But these are both pretty late into the movie, and Oscar remains more or less the same character up until about the last 5 minutes. This is where a lot of the arguments of Oscar being unlikable comes into play. I disagree a little bit. I think in the late stage of the movie, he is lying with much better intentions, but it doesn't make for much of a character arc. Lenny's story doesn't fare much better. He's a shark that doesn't want to eat fish, which drives a wedge between him and his father, Don Leno. Cute enough concept, but they're no hiccup in Stoic. You know exactly how it's going to play out with
because Lenny never wanted to eat other animals. He ain't never wanted to be like what his brother name was. I don't even remember his brother name, but his brother died. I don't know how the brother died. Just got hit, so that nigga had a concussion. He really faked his death on some stuff. So I mean, I guess and stuff like that, but. In the end of the day, I still fuck with the movie.
Eventually realizing he needs to accept his son for who he is, and there isn't enough of an emotional connection between them to get you invested. Which is a shame, since I think the setup is there. Lenny has a scene where he talks to Oscar about his relationship with his dad, and Oscar responds with,
Nothing is wrong with you, man. I think all sharks should be like you.
That could have been a good basis for their friendship.
Right.
We have a fish and a shark who naturally should be enemies, but end up as friends since they're both outcasts from their own respective sides. But you don't get much of the sense that these two really value each other as friends, and they're more just working together because it's mutually beneficial for them.
Me and Lenny got it. We gonna fix it.
Whoa. What's with the we? I don't want any part of this.
Hey, too late now, veggie boy. They'll be looking for you, too.
It feels like DreamWorks were trying to capture a similar dynamic to Shrek and Donkey, but those characters worked because as much as Shrek is irritated by Donkey, Donkey is clearly a valuable friend to Shrek that even he can't always avoid ignoring.
And that's what I'm saying, because Donkey, and I mean, I feel like they was trying to go that route for a little split moment while he was just saying that, but I had to realize they really wasn't because, like he was just understanding, like, bro, he's a shark. He just don't want to be eating other fishes and stuff like that. And it be like that, though. Sometimes, though, it does be like that. You just don't want to do other stuff and stuff. You don't want to be like the rest of your family. You want to be something different. Like, you don't want to follow the same thing. So that's what I feel like that basically that shark movie. He don't want to do the same thing as family. He always wanted to do something different. And Oscar, Lou already explained it earlier, but I can sum it up for y'all if y'all was not paying attention. Live, to go for the fame, feel guilt, and then you realize you already had some at the bottom. So you already had some at the bottom, because the top is not really all what it is, as I'm trying to sum it up. And Shrek and Donkey is like a whole two different things, bro. They best friends stuff was way different. So way different. So different from Lenny and Oscar.
Acknowledging.
I didn't think he was just a big, stupid, ugly ogre.
Right.
Yeah, I know.
I do like the dynamic between Lenny and Angie, though. They don't interact that much, but I think it's kind of sweet when they do.
I like her.
Thank you. I like you too.
I especially like the moment where Lenny comes in while Angie is yelling at Oscar and she tries to compose herself.
Angie?
Oh, honey, I'm sorry.
And while she's trying to put her own feelings aside for him, he then tries to comfort her.
It'll be okay.
It's a little moment that they didn't need to include, but they did, and I appreciate it.
Right.
Stand by my belief that the plot is not nearly as bad as people say it is. I also can't act like it's anything more than just serviceable. Still, while the plot is not necessarily ambitious...
So what? It's funny!
Now batting for the Southside Sharks, number 15.
Ow! It's not okay to hit! See?
At the end of the day, the movie is first and foremost a comedy, and a lot of the jokes honestly really do it for me. Again, as much crap as people give the voice cast of this movie, I can't act like they don't do a good job.
I feel like, bro, the cast was actually good to me. And y'all gonna say, mwah, mwah, mwah. But my nigga, like, y'all gotta realize, y'all wasn't watching Shark Tale when y'all little. Y'all watching a whole different thing. Like, y'all, how many times I watched this movie? This movie is actually a good movie. You can relate off to this movie. That's serious.
And their line deliveries get a lot of good laughs.
Hi, boss. What are you doing working in a pizza joint?
Get off the phone!
alone. But I'm hungry.
I've already discussed Will Smith, but I also really enjoyed Jack Black's performance. The slightly high-pitched, dorky voice he does is a funny contrast with how big and imposing he looks, which works well for his character without being so pronounced that it becomes annoying.
Little buddy, did I scare you? I'm sorry.
And Martin Scorsese does a surprisingly good job. He has a very distinct voice, which helps, but he also brings a lot of energy both when he has to sound frustrated and when he has to sound happy and excited.
Shut up, Lito! Shut up!
I actually think it's kind of a shame that he doesn't do more acting on this kind of scale, but he's a busy guy, it's fine. A lot of the comedic bits work for me too. The opening scene, for example, is, in my opinion, one of the most clever variations of the DreamWorks logo and how it actually transitions directly into the movie. Is it a little weird that the kid from the logo sort of indirectly interacts with the characters and the plot? A little, but it's not like the surface world is given any presence or world building within the film to adhere to, so I don't see it as a problem. Hell, it could be Middle Earth up there for all we know, and it wouldn't affect this movie one iota. And the way the scene starts out all ominous, like you're watching a typical shark movie, even playing the Jaws theme, only to subvert it with this fucking reveal.
Hi, I'm Lenny.
That would already be funny, but the way the Jaws theme doesn't just stop, but continues playing and becomes slightly upbeat and jaunty sounding.
Here we go. And gotcha! Okay, buddy, you're free. Now escape. Go. Just go. Cry freedom.
It's a legitimately funny introduction to Lenny as a character that gets across who he is and also sets the tone for the movie quite well. Side note, say what you want about the licensed soundtrack, but the score by Hans Zimmer is... well, it's a score by Hans Zimmer. Obviously it's great, and I don't think it gets enough attention. I like this guy in the whale wash that everybody calls Headphone Guy.
Headphone guy's still in there!
I just love the implication that despite working with him for presumably a long time, nobody knows what his name is because he just never interacts with anyone.
I got you! Headphone guy!
And in general, I like how much this movie adheres to the mobster tropes. We've seen animated family movies do this kind of thing occasionally, but it's usually just for like 1 or 2 scenes. It's not common that you see them commit to this type of thing for most of the runtime, and it leads to a lot of good comedic bits, contrasting that typical tone and aesthetic with shit like...
I like big butts and I cannot lie.
Again, to people who claim this movie is just a cash grab, I don't know, it's not exactly easy pandering to kids by spoofing a genre of movie they haven't seen unless they watched Home Alone and got really curious about Joe Pesci's other work.
What?
What can I say? I like Shark Tale. It's far from perfect and equally far from the best movie DreamWorks has ever made. And when you look at the reputation this movie has online, especially from my favorite YouTuber, Schaeferless Productions, it does feel a little weird for me going against the grain like this. But outside of that space in my personal life, whenever I've interacted with filthy casuals, as the kids say, and this movie has come up in conversation, I've met a lot more people who like this movie than people who don't. I'll leave you to decide what the net result is there, but if you're watching this video and you happen to like Shark Tale, contrary to what the internet says, I assure you, you're not alone. Plus, if you don't want to take my word for it, you could always take the word of the pinnacle of comedy itself, The Big Bang Theory.
I swear, if it's Will Smith and Shark Tale 2, it better be at least as good as the original.
I am not helping my case, am I? Special thanks to my Patreon supporters, Heather Reed.
Oh, that's it. Wait, yeah, that's it. Oh, wait, yeah, I think that's it. I think he's about to talk about his Patreon. Anywho, hope y'all enjoyed the video. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, follow our social media, pop on the screen. We're on the road to 500, and I'm out.